morning to all our listeners. Thanks for joining us on Untengle and on the various platforms that you join us on our frequencies. And of course, thanks for those joining us on the internet family. Good morning and morning to the Untangle team. Always a pleasure. Want to let our listeners know that at 15 minutes after 12 o'clock, we're going to have a conversation with Ashli-Ann Broughton. And Ashli is the founder and chief executive officer and project director of the Street People Liberation Foundation. And the Street People Liberation Foundation is a non-profit organization operated by young people. And we're always happy to hear what the young are doing because sometimes the young feel left out of what's happening. So we always like to bring it forward and let people see that young people here in Jamaica, they are doing a wonderful job at many things. Sometimes they don't get the spotlight. Sometimes the negativity take over, but there is a lot of positive happening. Good afternoon, Ashli.
Hi, Mama Elise.
How are you?
I'm doing fantastic today. Really an honor to be here.
Wonderful. That sounds beautiful. All right. So welcome to Untangle here on the Bridge 99 FM. And the first thing we want to ask you to do is to tell us a little bit about Ashli.
All right. So, Ashli, Montegonian, born and raised in Montego Bay. I am a student of the Caribbean Maritime University, past student of Anchovy High School. I'm really just a person that loves to give back. It's a part of me. It always has been. I'm from a family that is always giving. So that's really it regarding me. I'm pretty simple.
Nice. I love that. Pretty simple. You know, what we notice, so while we're talking to a lot of these young people, what we notice is that a lot of the spirit of giving actually comes from family. They've seen it from either parents or, people around them. And so it's so very important. They say children live what they learn, is not what you tell them to do, is what them see you do. All right. So that's so very true. So you founded the Street People Liberation Foundation when you were 17 years old. What
Yes.
or who was the motivation for that?
I keep saying this every time when I look back. So it started in 2014, and I started at a time when I was transitioning from high school to college, and I felt as if you can't just leave high school with just your CXCs or whatever the case may be. You have to do something. You have to give back, right? Having been in Red Cross, Key Club, those clubs, I said to myself, I wanted to do something for myself where I can see an impact. And at the time, there wasn't really much charities in Montego Bay supporting the homeless communities. Like, these persons were so forgotten. Nobody, wanted to take care of them and stuff like that. So I said to myself, this is something that I wanted to do. Told my mother about it, and she even helped me with preparing meals and stuff like that. And even today, she has been a tower of strength where supporting the homeless community in Montego Bay is concerned.
So you mentioned meals and your mom helping you with meals. Do you cook yourself or with your family for these people?
So we started out cooking meals from home and then going into town, going into Montego Bay, just going around feeding the homeless persons with a group of friends from high school, just the same, from around Montego Bay. And we said, why not just get persons that are professional on board? And now we have like about 3 chefs, and we are all about cooking, reintegrating persons back into society, getting them counseling, getting them training. So it's much more than feeding based on where we would have started.
Wonderful. So one of the things we really do realize is that people need all kinds of food. Food for the belly and spiritual food and food for the mind. And I'm sure you're learning all of this.
Exactly.
Absolutely. All right. So you started out with 10 members. How many do you have today?
So we have roughly about 200 plus as of last week. We are now up to 200 members, and this is island-wide. So yes, we're in Montego Bay, but we're also in Kingston, and we've done projects in and around Jamaica, Ocho Rios, and over other places, but our main focus is where the homeless persons or the homeless population is more predominant, and that is in Kingston and Montego Bay, those 2 cities.
Well, I know a lot about Kingston, and I know there are many homeless people in Kingston. But I also know that Mobay has a serious homeless issue too. Tell us about Mobay's, since that's the space you're from. Tell us what you found about the homelessness in Montego Bay.
So you definitely know that in Kingston it is more, the homeless population is much higher than Montego Bay. Haven't been a small city, right? So in 2014, we had roughly about 40 homeless persons in and around the city itself. And we found that now, especially during the pandemic, we are seeing an increase of to about 83 persons in Montego Bay itself. So we're seeing an increase, one, because of the numerous hurricanes that we've had, leaving a lot of persons homeless being one, a lot of mentally ill persons on the road. And even now with the pandemic, we've seen a spike just the same.
Absolutely. And it seems to me, from just my being around, that the pandemic has caused a lot more mental illnesses or depression
Mm-hmm.
than previously. Have you found that?
It has. And even with a lot of young people, we found that we didn't really used to see a lot of young people being homeless on the road. Now we're seeing that. And it could be a lot of things. And even when you speak to these persons, it's much more than mental, illnesses. It could be the fact that they've had maybe an early divorce, they've had a family just isolating them. They would have been deported, certain circumstances, and now having been on the road, it's really a sense of loneliness that they feel. And we want these persons to feel as if they're humans, right? So we want to bring the Christmas joy to them. We want to bring as much joy as it, even around the year, we want to bring as much joy to these persons as we can because they're so important to us. And we want them to feel just the same as how we would like to feel.
Ashli-Ann, you made a very valid point, and I'm so happy that you brought it up because I'm sure that now that you are interacting with these people, you realize that it is so much more than mental illness. A lot of people think that homelessness is because of mental illness, but they're sometimes they come together, but they're two separate issues.
And that's true. That's true. We find that even though in today's society we have to break the stigma because a lot of people believe that once you are on the road, you're automatically a mentally ill person. And we need to break out of that culture because we find, and even throughout the years, we've seen a lot of persons become homeless over certain circumstances. It could be a loss of a job, and a lot of people move from different countries. We've seen persons coming from the airport, and because they would have lost things, because we have some citizens that would have robbed them or whatever the case may be. They didn't have anyone, so we end up having these persons in our shelters because it could be different circumstances.
Absolutely. And I'm so happy that you've learned that because, sometimes we see these planes coming down with so many deportees and we just think that these people have somewhere to stay and they don't necessarily have somewhere to stay. And that creates a lot of issues.
That's true. It has increased in a lot of issues over the years. And we've seen an increase. And especially when you've moved to another country, having no one in Jamaica, you lived so many years. Coming back, you really are, it's a sense of loneliness, as I said. And it's really a struggle for these persons being on the road.
Absolutely. And one of the issues that we have and is very, very heartbreaking is that a lot of the teenagers that run away, like the youths who run away, are running away from abuse at home.
That is true. And something to add, we find that a lot of youngsters in the homes, they would have been in the system from birth. And as soon as they reach a certain age, they end up going on the road because nobody's there to take care of them or guide them efficiently on the way.
Wow. I'm very happy when young people go into areas like this to really break some of the stigma that perhaps we've been taught or some of the stigma that we have in our minds about people. Because, there are just so many, prejudices against people. And until we get to know people, we won't break some of these stigmas. And it's good that you're going out there and understanding people. So, what has your greatest accomplishment been so far as a foundation?
As a foundation, I would say the biggest achievement is, one of the biggest achievements is when we work with the shelters, right? And we are able to see persons come into the system, get educated, get reintegrated, go back into society, and we see that these persons are now themselves again. Just to see them getting a job, even just getting a passport, a TRN, and all the necessary things that they need, we find that this is the most fulfilling part about working with homeless persons. And there is light, and there is a life after being homeless. Once you know, get all the help that you have. And we want to be the persons to be able to help these persons along the way. So to be honest, that's my greatest accomplishment, just seeing it. And from the foundation's perspective, just having worked with these shelters, that is probably one of the best things that we can definitely see.
That's beautiful. And do you find that just interacting with them, a bright-faced young lady like yourself and all your other members of the foundation, just caring about them and asking them questions, do you find that it makes them feel more human and able to get out and get, as you said, a passport or a job or just feel like themselves again?
It feels really good just to have a conversation with them, letting them know that somebody cares is just fulfilling for them. And most of the times when we go on the road and we see them and we go into the shelters and we play with them, we have sessions with them, they cry, they get so emotional because it's not always that they see persons, looking out for them. It's not often that they see persons just giving them a smile and just having a random conversation with them. They really love it, trust me.
Absolutely. You mentioned loneliness, and you know that a lot of people are particularly lonely at this time of year. Do you have any special plans for the season?
Yes, we do. So on December 19th, Sunday, we're going to go out in Montego Bay. We're going to feed the homeless persons. Also, we're going to be going into the shelter. One particular shelter is the Refuge of Hope homeless shelter in Albion. We'll be supporting the homeless persons, giving them as much items needed for the Christmas season. This is something that we do every single year. While we may have a lot of projects throughout the year, we look forward to giving them all the necessary things needed, especially during the Christmas time, giving them or Christmas so they can feel special just the same. So that is definitely what we have planned for Montego Bay, specifically for this Christmas. We want to go on the road, spread some joy, come into the shelters again and spread more joy to these persons so they feel a sense of belonging, they feel cared for. I mean, everyone will be home on Christmas Day during the Christmas feeding and stuff. So we want to bring that to them so they feel cared for, as I said.
Absolutely. Do you find that there are many children in these shelters?
No, it's mostly adults,
Okay, because it is one. Can you imagine if you're giving adults that extra, care and attention?
Exactly.
Can you imagine children? Because one thing with children, no matter how desperate they are or how destitute they are, you just give them something with some pretty paper where them can pull off, and the smiles come out.
But I'm glad you made mention of children because we're actually going to do a day visit at the SOS Children's Village in Broughton, Montego Bay. We also spread some joy to them during Christmas as well, and we're looking forward to spending the day with them. It will be December 18th, so we're looking out for that as well.
Wonderful. Thank you so very much, Ashli-Ann, for your spirit of giving. Thank you very much for sharing it with us. And is there anything else you want to add before we leave?
I just want to thank you so much. Really a pleasure to be here today and just to tell you guys, about homelessness in Jamaica, just, letting you know that there's more to it than being homeless. We talked about mental illnesses and stuff like that, but definitely want to tell persons that they can always follow us on Instagram or Facebook at Street People Liberation. Once you are willing to donate, once you just want to message us to find out some information, that's totally acceptable. And we are always down to listening to your comments and responding to you guys.
Wonderful. Have yourself a wonderful day. And thank you very much for spreading love and cheer. Send our love to the others in the foundation and keep it up.
Thank you so much.
You're most welcome. Wonderful. So that's Ashli-Ann Broughton, founder and chief executive officer and project director of the Street People Liberation Foundation. It's a non-profit organization. It's operated by young people, and that's so heartening. And there is something that I really want to mention. We've been having conversations with these, particularly young people, for the start of Untengle, since the start of Untengle. And there are many people, listeners, who have been texting in or calling in, or for those who have my number, they've been asking, how can they be of assistance? So we're going to have a conversation with producer Vaughn, and then we're going to come up with a way how you can actually help these various organizations. It was Tuesday gone that we had a conversation, and there are just so many people who want to help. One of my friends already bought a laptop, and she coming down to Jamaica, and she want to give it away to the people up in Ligonier, their Shammers organization, remember? And there are just others who just want to help, and we so love that. So, the spirit of giving is contagious. It's catching on, and that's the whole point of it. So we'll take a break. We soon come. Yes, good afternoon.
How are you doing?
I am very well, thanks. How are you?
Great, nice to hear your voice again. I'm doing good.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Nice.
All right. You want to start, Beauregard?
I guess that what everyone is talking about is the fact that we lost another icon, Mama Elise,
yes.
in Mr. Robbie Shakespeare. One half of the prolific production duo Sly and Robbie. And it's a sad day in reggae music.
Very, very sad day. It was just so heartbreaking to hear the news. And then Sly is one of my friends on Facebook. And, Sly is always just so upbeat and jolly and positive. And it was just so sad to read his post yesterday when he says, I am devastated by the loss of my friend and partner, Robert Robbie Shakespeare, who passed away today. The world has lost a great and talented musician. Rest in peace, my brother, and we ask that you respect the family's privacy during this time of grief. So very sad.
True, very, very sad. I mean, these gentlemen, they really revolutionized the sound of dancehall and reggae. They've worked with so many artists, both in Jamaica and on the international scale. So we say big ups to them. They've worked with Madonna, Bob Dylan, Mick Jagger, the Rolling Stones, Grace Jones, even Britney Spears.
Yes.
So we say hats off to them and for all the work that they did for our culture and for the island of Jamaica and for the music overall.
Well said. And it reminds us of our mortality and why we really have to, apart from doing the good that we can while we're here, to really honor those who are here with us while they're here.
True indeed, true indeed. Give people them flowers while they're around to smell them, man.
Absolutely, so true. Another thing coming out of Jamaica is that, Reggae Boys coach Tapper Whitmore has been fired.
Yes.
And it says here that Reggae Boys head coach Theodore Tapper Whitmore has been fired under his leadership after 8 games in the World Cup qualifiers. Jamaica has amassed just 7 points and sits at 6th in the 8-team table. Jamaica now has 6 remaining games. So we look to see who is going to fill that slot.
I have, in conversation with a lot of my friends, they're saying that, Jamaica needs another coach like the coach that we had from Brazil. And that's what my friends keep saying. We need a coach like the man from over Brazil and whatever. But we say big ups to Tapper for everything that he did.
Absolutely. And,
yes.
and at the time that Tapper came, we were saying we need a Jamaican coach.
Yes.
So, what was the Brazilian coach name? René Simoes. Yes. So yes. So he was wonderful. Apart from the fact that he was a very good coach, he also had a personality that would inspire the Jamaican youth them.
Yes.
Because
true
they tried another one, but me no know. René Simoes, man, and him fantash. He was the man.
True indeed.
Yeah, we really loved him,
Here's some other stories coming out of Jamaica, and I saw this morning. And you could weigh in on this one and tell me if this person needs to be fired, because I want to know what's going on in the Jamaica Labour Party with its members. And coming off of the heels of Andrew Holness, the Prime Minister, coming out and saying that anyone being caught with a gun, they should be thrown away or locked up forever or whatever the case may be.
No, gallows.
Now we see where the councilman from Montego Bay Southeast Division, Mr. Arthur Lynch, pointed a gun at his wife. And they're saying that he was suspended. So now a lot of people are saying, what's going on in the Jamaica Labour Party? A few months back we had the situation with Mr. George Wright, with his wife as well. And also, with Mr. Floyd Green and the whole No Movement Day situation. So, now people here in the diaspora are saying, what's going on in the Jamaica Labour Party? Are these people going to be held accountable, or are they just going to turn a blind eye because it's that party.
I'm not even sure if it's because it's that party, but I am so convinced that it is because of who these people are. So, that's one of the things that I was wondering. If, me I wonder if, like all that case where you just described a while ago, if gallows fit a man there too. Or because film gun might illegal, probably him would escape the gallows. You understand the double
Yes,
standard?
yes. And that's what I meant by that party, the party that's in power.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
because, let me tell you something, you see, Beauregard. I'm going to be very honest with you. You see, like all me here in a Jamaica now, me not no side, because as far as me concerned, the two of them, I see him, so, Yeah, because if the other one was in power, anything, this one, the other one do it too. You understand me? I say
Right.
6 of one, half dozen of the other. So I just have to just spread the fire wide and burn them both, Yes.
And while you burn that fire, I'll share a little joke with you. Back in the summer when the lockdown started and the whole pandemic thing started and there were curfews and everything, there was a joke going around on social media where people were saying, I believe the Jamaica Constabulary Force had put out a post saying that you should report any illegal parties. And people were coming. People were commenting and saying, PNP and JLP, they need to be shut down.
No, it's them kind of joke that me like. Two illegal party. Yes, Beauregard. No, we can't speak about that. Because you say, I'm not going to do that. Them two parties, they having too much fun at the expense of the people. You understand me, I say to you?
Right.
Yeah, man. Yes, man. Yeah, me like that. I want to tell you, say it's not even so much of a joke. I'm serious something. Yeah, man.
Oh, man.
Yeah, man. Constabulary need to lock down them two parts. Yes, man. Yeah, right.
Oh, man, I laughed so hard when I saw that. That was crazy. I still laugh at it to this day.
No, you give me something to talk about, no, I laugh about. Because every time you hear one of them in Jamaica, they have a party, a people's national party, I will remember so them need to lock down.
It's a pun and a crown there, so I could lock it off.
No, trust me. Yeah, man. My kind of joke them, the Beauregard. Anyway, we have an interview coming up, you see, and I'm not sure if you know about Rockers Elements.
Yes, I heard you play something from them on Tuesday.
Oh, great. Wonderful. Yes. And I'm looking forward to reasoning with them because, as I said before, as we talked about before, Beauregard, there's a lot of conversation happening, legitimate conversations happening about the fate of reggae music and what we are getting from the practitioners of reggae. And it is my intention, because I've been playing reggae for years, and it is my intention to pull out those who are actually bringing something to the table. You say Rockers Elements, I want foreign, because we're streaming live. Yes. I want foreign to take a note of these three brethren from Spanish Town. Because a lot of times we overlook the most brilliant among us, and it's time to stop.
True.
So we're having a wonderful conversation. We're looking forward to having a conversation with these three humble brethren, very humble, and them just steady, and them just do their music, and them bad.
Yes. I'm looking forward to the conversation too, and also the entire diaspora is looking forward to it.
Wonderful, Beauregard. So, little more we talk again, all right?
All right, sister.
Okay, so we have live on Zoom our group, Rockers Elements. You hearing me now? All right, so we asked the question, how did the group get started? How and where?
Mama, I honestly, we never planned like we're going to name Rockers. Our name will be Rockers Elements, and we started as Lens, with one and few mishaps, the name ended up transforming into Rockers Elements, and so we've been doing it from the heart from then until now, and as Mama know, we won't stop.
I want to hear that. I know that groups come together, and sometimes groups go apart. But when I was listening to the CD, I was thinking to myself, Most High, I do business, but a business. I really hope that this group just stay together. Honestly, you know,
Wow.
I'm just so happy that when we asked you to do this interview, although two of you were in one space and one in another space, it was just very quickly that you could get that group together, and that really made me so happy.
Thanks, Mama. Yes, thanks again.
All right, so I know that the group was actually once singing in the church. It's interesting to me to find out, how did you transition from singing in the church to now being a roots rock reggae band?
IG.
Well, the transition, how the transition has helped, because when you're born and growing at the church, it's like the music thing that inborn, and then family members. So you find say, it in your blood, the music thing in your blood. So you go to church Sunday and you play this music until it become one. You and this music become one. So upon growing now and becoming ourselves and true kings, and we're humble with the growth of everything. So we ended up on this venture, on this journey of music, and we never knew that it was nurturing all that we needed to become today, to do right now. And it amazes us. It amazes us, but at the end of the day, we say give thanks same way, because every rough in the journey, it's worth it. Every battle where we fight, Mama, we really grow.
Yeah.
And when we reflect on the first interview that you had with us, oh gosh, man. I tell you, man, there is no giving up for Rockers Elements.
I'm so happy to hear that. You know, last week, not last week, Tuesday actually, we were having a conversation with Coco T. And what Coco T said that I found to be very interesting is that he was saying that although roots rock reggae is expected to harness a certain kind of militancy and righteousness, we're losing that. And he, as a Rastaman, mentioned the fact that originally we did not come from church, and that harnessed a certain amount of righteousness within us, although him is a Rastaman. So it is very interesting to hear you respond that way, because the humility and the righteousness you learn from your parents, brethren. You learn from Deso. So it's just great to hear you say that. So there is the righteousness, there is the musical element. And one of the things that I particularly like about this group is that although you're into roots rock reggae music, there's just so much harmony, musical harmony within the delivery. So I'm sure this can be attributed to the fact that you all play musical instruments. So let us talk about that.
We play musical instruments, you know what I mean? Me and IT, we were growing in the church and playing the drums and the keyboards. So we grew into that naturally, and then learning another instrument would naturally become not a hard task, but something that you need to just put yourself to and invest that time to nurture and have that craft, you know what I mean?
Yes.
So it definitely shaped us in a way that we are also grateful and thankful for, and we will not ever be ungrateful.
Absolutely, because one of the things that particularly the veterans in the business, or those who are my age and a little younger and a little older, talk about is that some of the youths that coming into reggae music are not as humble as we would like them to be. And it detracts from their presentation, because if you're not as humble, it means that you're disrespecting somebody, and it can't be those who did it before you. So
that's a very vital point, Mama. Very vital point.
So let's talk a little bit about that. Who want to take on that one?
Take on something, bro.
No, Mama.
So we do it naturally, Mama.
Yes, me love
Mama.
it.
Listen, your Mama, as I say, respect the elders. Mama, without our mama, our mother and father, Mama, we wouldn't be Rockers Elements today. We wouldn't learn of humble, Mama. Now, show you say, see the elders, Mama. We, if you know, say, without the elders, there's no moving forward, because the elders have to hand down certain things to we as the younger generation to move forward.
And now me hear songs out the road, so we not listen to the elders.
You know, and I hear out the road, so them now listen to the youth them because the youth them too hype. So you see, we at a crossroads where we really have to bridge that gap. So for those who are watching and listening, you just heard from Unbroken, right? And Unbroken, you are said to be quite a guitar whiz. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Well, I never started out playing guitar, but as I said, Almighty know your destiny and He put it even before all of us. And I learned guitar by Him, I talented, I gifted. All of us learn from each other, but my skills in guitar come from the knowledge of I talented, of a sound where he can say, you be, that is not the right sound, hold a little string a little bit better, hold on the fifth string, hold on the sixth string. So my knowledge of guitar come from I talented, but at the same time, Almighty did don't have a part for UB, where UB did have to tread that part the same way. You understand what I mean? But give thanks to Rockers Elements, give thanks to IG, give thanks to UB, give thanks to I talented again. As I say, we Rockers Elements have a purpose in the mama, and they said have a fulfill.
Right, I love that. And again, I say it is very important for a group who does music to understand music, to play musical instruments, to know when you're off key, to create. So this session is also a listening session because we need the people to hear all the bad stuff. So we're going to play a tune and then we're going to reason again, all right? So for those who have just joined us, we're talking to Rockers Elements via Zoom interview, and thank you very much for joining us. You know, every time I ask a question, I want to say, IG, you take that. This a one here, you take that. And it leads me to ask, oh, all right, we know to deal with the interview, so only deal with the writing, because the writing is also excellent. Only deal with that part there.
Wow.
Well,
Wow.
What, Joe, no answer that one, yeah?
Bro.
IG go.
All right, I'll take a piece first. Well, Mama, this is such a fun part of us and a major part of us, because yes, there are times when we are alone, like on our natural day-to-day errands, and we just get a meditation and we say, Breads, we have to link up a little more now. Me get a meds, me get a song. But when we are in the studio now, where writing is concerned, we do collective writing as well as individual writing. So in order for Rockers Element song be complete, if UB needs a part or me hear a part we're fitting to what UB are going with or IT, and me say, Breads, a picture idea, and him say, whoa, take it right away. And the same goes right across the board. But we independently sit and just craft our lyrics, whether we say we have a right piece down, if you not forget this, because we can't forget this particular thing, but it is so much fun, Mama. Persons that get the chance to be around when we are in a productive state, it's like I really listen to the Rockers.
Nice, beautiful.
Time, Mama.
Beautiful. I love that. You know, I'm looking at the three of you, and I don't know if people can actually tell, but two of Rockers Elements are actually brothers. But you see, when you look at the chair look like brother, you know. People not telling you that.
All the time. All the way, Mama.
All right. So here what I want to know now, right? Suppose a man write a tune about him girl, right? How the other one them come in?
Bro.
All right. Well, Mama, we have the same positive point of view.
Yeah.
Right.
So, even at this time, IT and his Empress is not seeing eye to eye with a certain situation.
Yeah.
Or they are seeing eye to eye, and UB and IG maybe not seeing eye to eye.
All
We
right.
are off that composure to know, say, oh, this is a song that should like state the nice part of love, because that's what we are singing about. So regardless of whatever mood I'm in, if my heart is merely, fractured in any way, I still are bring still have to know, say,
and
this
yes,
song
you
is
have
saying,
lines for that.
yeah,
It was
this
still
song is
sweet.
saying,
Yeah.
I love,
I
yeah. So
love that. I love that. I thought I would ask you that because, you know, yes. Why I ask you that is because you sing such sweet love songs, but you're singing to a specific embrace. So I can't show no embrace. So that's why I ask you that. All right. Let's keep it moving. All right. So November 21, 2019, you had the launch of your first album, Great Things Take Time. But that was a few months before the COVID outbreak. Did it affect promotion in any way?
Well, honestly, Mama, it did because we were in the process of the distribution of at least 3,000 discs,
Right.
and it actually made us have, like, we had to redecide on a double disc album for the people. Them just, you know, accept and know, sir, this is Rockers Elements, and then accept just platforming it like iTunes and so on, because you know it's digital now and everybody I got there inside, you can't do it out on the street and I sell a CD now. So
Yeah.
so look,
Street promotion.
you know,
Yeah.
it did affect us, but we improvised in the natural ways we do over the years and just say, all right, let's go. We need the videos to get going. So let's do what we can do and get the videos together. And, you know, we've always been producing. So, like, songs have never been a problem. But, like, the promotional parts of it. So, our aim, even up to now, is getting 1 and 2 songs every now and again from the video,
Yes.
from the album.
From the
done,
album, yes.
in terms of videos.
Yeah. You know, it's times like these we give thanks that our life was never a bed of roses from morning. So we kind of know if we cut and clear and go around. Don't it? Yeah, man, it goes off for true. Yeah, man, same way, so. So at this point here, with Great Things Take Time, I was actually off the air at that time. So I don't get a copy of that CD. And, you know, I would love a copy of the CD. So the Irie Vibes, the tune that I love so much, it depend on it?
Well,
Irie.
All right, Irie was released. All right, let me explain to Mama now as Mama Boss.
All right.
Oh, well, Mama know. that song was actually a couple of years ago, Mama, and there's sometimes a maze kind of feeling when it comes to the distributing part. That side of it, like releasing a song now and then we have our album. We want the song on our album, like that sometimes can be a thing that causes catastrophe. For honestly, we sat down and reason and say, well, for the joy of Mama and the energy and purity and positivity, we won't meddle with this song. We will allow the song to breathe in its own, room.
Okay.
Yeah, man, Mama. So
I got it.
That's mainly the reason why it wasn't on the album, but we really wanted it on it, though, honestly.
That's okay, because you see, that is where the whole of us come in now, you know, because whether it's on the album or not, Rockers Elements is known for this one. But what I was so happy about is the No Hindering, the one there, on the album.
Well, yes, man, Mama. Yeah. Yes, Mama.
Nice, beautiful.
Definitely.
All right. So you're still in the process of... You're still in the process of promoting that album then?
Yeah.
Okay.
Even some live shows.
Right.
Yeah,
nice.
Man. So,
all right. So we're coming up to that time when we're sealing off. But before we seal off, I would like to ask probably all three of you. There's so much talk about reggae today, and I would like to hear from 3 authentic, melodious, roots-rocking, loving reggae brethren. What views do you have about reggae today, and what is your mission? So it's a double question. What are your views about reggae today, and what is your mission?
All right. In the format,
yes, Mama, good question, you know.
I'll show you. I'll show you.
We're going to go in the IG around there, farm.
Yeah. All right, go ahead.
Yes.
all right. So,
Reggae music today.
Go ahead.
Yeah, go. All right.
reggae music today, how we see reggae music today, it has really changed, you know, and it's kind of sad because the elders have put in so much work and we've done so much research from King Tubby's and prior to that, and you know what I mean, but the work where the man them put in, family, in at the time where music or reggae music wasn't that a prominent, wasn't so much of a prominent or a popular thing in the world, and the man them go out there and fight the fight and stand up in the cold for this righteous music you have been known to the world, you know what I mean? And fast forward to then now, it's like all of the righteousness it just put in a rubbish bag, tie up and gone down a shoe.
Not all. I'm sorry, I can't agree with you. Not all, because we are talking to the Uno.
I'm not saying that, Mama, but I'm saying the direction that it's going in, it's like other direction that you want to see. It's like that you see a go on. We refuse to allow the shape of what we are seeing now affect us and affect the elders. And we want the elder them to know, say, we're there and we are maintaining the shape of reggae music because we never stop learning.
Beautiful.
We never stop learning from them. This is a never-ending process to keep learning and maintaining the righteous levels.
Beautiful.
So, yes, we never stop learning, Mama. Take on peace, the bro God, cause
take on peace.
Of how reggae is today, I'm just kind of scared of it being how it originally was an educator, an awakening music.
Right.
So like in this time now, reggae should be the direction to many people who were guided and have been guided by music positively, because there are people out there up to now listen foolishness cinema. We know that. Regardless of what's happening. So
true.
My honest view of the reggae is just strong and content with the truth. Because this is what we're passing to other generations. Like Rockers Elements wasn't a generation in music maybe a couple of years ago. But now that we are of that circle, we have to do the right thing. Because Mama, if I don't do that, then IT youth and IG youth and UB youth will just come and do what?
True.
So then our mission is just inevitably to continue spreading the right messages, regardless of how pressure might come around, and then maybe go do another danger image and whatever other people would do. We'll stay true to ourselves, being Rockers Elements, knowing that regardless of what comes or goes, we stand for the truth. When you're in a moment where you feel like the world is against and everything is on your shoulder, you have rockers music to listen to and just hearing the positive views where you know them go through struggle too. Yes. That alone motivate you, so you know me can get through this too. Maybe IT have a phone around him paper singing them songs, say, I'll make it. You know?
Yes, absolutely.
So,
positive
that's my
words.
view, Mama. You be.
Mama, I can tell you, I not run around like madams.
Don't do it.
You see, as long as you know what is right, even if sufferation come to it, you have to hold it because you know what is right. We not follow no trend, Mama. We know what is reggae music. Reggae music is the healer. Reggae music direct the people in the right part, Mama. So we know what is right. So we just right now, we know say that you have a time when the people them want a little salt and them want a little pepper. But when we do say we are the right seasoning, Mama, we're not astray, we are hold it firm. Our reggae music have to win, Mama. We just have to hold it. As I say, it's not all. You see me, but the 300 will conquer the 3 billion or the 3 zillion or the 3. You understand what I mean? We can't lose.
Absolutely. Wonderful. And you know, because it's the same thing with even us selecting reggae music, and one might feel like say, well, you still a select. Me not stop, because at the top of the day, remember what our predecessors went through for create this beautiful genre, you know. So any little hitch where we go through a stupidness compared to what them did go through. So none of we not stop. Wonderful talking to you. We're going to take a commercial break and we now can come forward, but here we're going to come forward now. No hindering, no hindrance. You know what I'm saying? Oh, one of my sweetest tunes. Wonderful talking to you. Yes, I.
Because the harder the glory, and the sweeter the victory.
Why your tree voice?
Give thanks, Mama. We love you. Love you, Mama.
Love you also. Love you also. I remember to send a copy of the new CD, right? The Great Things Take Time, all right?
Will do. Mama. Bless you.
All
Bless
right.
the team.
Beautiful. Heart full of love. See?
Full of love.
All right. Oh, one of the groups I love so very much from the Spanish Town, St. Catherine area. We're going to take a break.